Breaking news of Bivol filing a complaint to all of the sanctioning bodies to order a rematch between him and Beterbiev. However, I don't see people calling Bivol a crybaby like they do Devin Haney, even though Ryan was the one who cheated. Furthermore, the IBF responded to Bivol's request by ordering Beterbiev to fight his mandatory next, Mitchell, instead of ordering the Undisputed rematch with Bivol, which is a slap to the face to Bivol and to everyone involved in the sport, from the fighters, the managers, the promoters, the networks, the investors, and all of the fans alike. I mean, how is it a good idea to order a mandatory after this controversial win by Beterbiev? Everyone wants to see a rematch. A lot of people thought Bivol pulled it off 7-5. So why not order a rematch for Undisputed instead of an unnecessary mandatory that no one wants to see? Bob Arum gave his thoughts on the IBF ruling where he said, quote, "It's totally insane. It's a burden to be undisputed. I mean, the idea that you have to fight some non-entity to keep your title after you have won the biggest fight of your career seemed crazy to me. This is ludicrous. They say these are the rules. Well, change the effing rules." End of the quote. I mean, yeah, how is it a good idea when finally we had the Undisputed fight between Beterbiev versus Bivol, a fight that the fans have waited 5 years to happen. And then after the controversial win of Beterbiev, instead of seeing a rematch, we see the IBF order Beterbiev or stopping the Undisputed rematch by ordering Beterbiev to fight a mandatory. An unknown mandatory, an unnecessary mandatory. Is one thing if they ordered Beterbiev to fight David Benavidez, then that's completely fine. However, to order Beterbiev to fight a no-name when the whole world want to see a rematch, that's insane. How is that good for business? And how is that good for the sport or the IBF? If anything, that's only good for the IBF pockets because they did warn Beterbiev that he will be stripped if he don't fight his mandatory. Or he has a second option, which is step-aside money. That would mean the people involved wants to get paid. If it was that serious that they wanted to fight Beterbiev, they wouldn't be asking for step-aside money. And that's why the Undisputed champion shouldn't be mandated immediately after winning the titles to fight a no-name. It's one thing to fight Benavidez, but not a no-name. Like I said before, if the mandatory was a name that's worth it, then that's a different story. However, when Beterbiev is getting injured preparing for fights now, he's like 40 years old, why would you have him go through a tough camp to fight a mandatory instead of an important fight at this point of his career? Finally, now that he's undisputed. It took a lot from Beterbiev to get to this point. So how is it a good idea to have Beterbiev go through a tough training camp to fight a nobody that nobody want to see, when the whole world want to see Undisputed or him fighting the winner of Benavidez versus Morrell? The Undisputed rematch and Benavidez versus Morrell winner are the only two fights that the fans want to see. And this is why Turkey is facing a lot of obstacles trying to fix a sport that's broken internally. I told you guys before, the key to fixing the sport of boxing is ordering an undisputed fight in every single division every 1 or 2 years. That will naturally allow the sport to fix itself, as long as someone can make it happen. Turkey is trying to make it happen. Then you see stuff like this from the IBF. No difference than ordering Jaron Ennis to fight someone he already beat. A fight that no one wants to see, at least as far as the boxing fans nor the investors in the sport. Why would you order a fight like that, but then turn around and not order the fights that the fans want to see, like Canelo versus his mandatory David Benavidez? Canelo is under the WBC protection. The organizations in the sport of boxing ordering fights that the fans nor investors want to see instead of the fights that the fans want to see is what's wrong with the sport. The fact that the WBC did not order Canelo to fight his mandatory David Benavidez for 3 years, but they will order Canelo to fight Avni Yildirim, a fighter coming off a loss, a fighter that Canelo requested to fight over David Benavidez. That's what's wrong with the sport. So hopefully someone can fix it. Hopefully Turkey can fix it. But he is facing a lot of obstacles, and I have another video on that coming soon, so be on the lookout for the cookout. That being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. In your opinion, what should Beterbiev do in this situation? He has 3 options. Vacate, pay his opponent step-aside money, however that's going to come with paying the mandatory as much money as he was going to fight him for. And that's not all. He's not getting rid of the mandatory permanently. He still has to fight the mandatory immediately after the Bivol rematch, which means that's not going to allow the winner to fight the winner of Benavidez versus Morrell, since the IBF mandatory will still be due. The last option, if Beterbiev doesn't want to deal with all the politics, he can go ahead and fight his mandatory and get him out of the way. Subscribe below, and to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.